Breaking news, a verdict reached in the Dontrell Stephens civil lawsuit. The jury just awarding Stephens roughly $23 million in the lawsuit against the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and the deputy who shot him.
A huge civil verdict, and News Channel 5's Brian Etten live in Fort Lauderdale with the breakdown. Brian.
Just within the last 10 minutes, a verdict, and it is a huge victory for Dontrell Stephens and his legal team. The jury saying that Deputy Adams Lynn did use excessive force when he shot and paralyzed Dontrell Stephens, and awarding him $23 million. That's about $6 million for medical bills, over $10 million for pain and suffering, and over $6 million for mental distress. Let's take these live pictures right now, and you can see Dontrell Stephens coming out of the courthouse in that wheelchair, pushed by his brother with his legal team, his lawyer, Jack Scarola, obviously very pleased right now. This is exactly what they asked for. They asked for just over $20 million about 3.5 hours ago when they gave their closing arguments to the jury. And now we're finding out that this verdict is $23 million. Mr. Scarola, can you come over to me? Tell us your reaction, Mr. Scarola, to this $23 million verdict.
Attorney and the legal team, your reaction.
This is a tremendous and extremely important victory for the community as a whole and for good law enforcement officers, particularly with all of the public focus of attention on violence against young black men. The confidence of the community in law enforcement has been significantly eroded. A verdict like this restores that confidence. It helps good police officers to be able to do what is a very difficult job far more effectively when the community has confidence in the way in which they're going to do that job. They have that confidence today. We have that confidence. And Dontrell has that confidence, and his healing process can finally begin to the extent that he's ever able to heal from what he has suffered. He can now begin to heal.
Is it okay, Mr. Scarola, if we speak to Dontrell just for a moment?
Stephens,
Dontrell.
He's really not ready to say anything.
He doesn't want to say anything.
Okay.
Obviously an emotional time for him, sir.
It's an extremely emotional time for him, as I'm sure you can just begin to imagine. This has been an enormously difficult journey for him, and unfortunately he still faces a very, very long road and a very difficult road, and it's a very open question right now about how Dontrell is going to be cared for while we go through an appellate process, while we go through a very long process of attempting to collect this judgment, to see that society's debt to Dontrell Stephens is appropriately recognized and appropriately paid.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scarola, for your time. So $23 million is that verdict coming down just about 20 minutes ago. Very interesting. You heard Mr. Scarola mention it's going to be quite a process trying to collect that money from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Because of the way state law is set up, they only have to pay $200,000 right now, and Mr. Scarola and Dontrell Stephens will have to go to the Florida legislature, and they will have to get a special bill in order to collect $23 million, and that is going to take time, likely years. So not an immediate relief for Dontrell Stephens, but still obviously a huge victory. You see his brother smiling right there. This is exactly what they asked from that jury, $23 million. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.